New Zealand, a land of breathtaking landscapes and unique wildlife, holds a particular fascination for many. But amidst its snow-capped mountains, lush forests and pristine beaches, a question often arises: are there snakes in New Zealand? The truth, firmly rooted in scientific evidence, is that New Zealand is indeed snake-free. There are no native snake species, and despite occasional reports, no established populations of snakes have ever been found. New Zealand's isolation and geological history have shaped its flora and fauna in extraordinary ways, resulting in a high number of endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. Join us as we unravel the truth about snakes in New Zealand and discover why maintaining this status quo is vital for preserving the country's natural heritage. To understand why snakes are absent from New Zealand, we must first appreciate the unique nature of its ecosystem. New Zealand is often referred to as the land of birds. Before human arrival, the islands were dominated by avian life, with birds filling ecological niches typically occupied by mammals in other parts of the world. This avian diversity is a direct result of New Zealand's long isolation, which began roughly 80 million years ago when it broke away from the supercontinent Gondwana. Without the presence of mammalian predators, birds diversified into a dazzling array of forms, including flightless species like the iconic kiwi and the curious kea. Snakes, being predominantly terrestrial creatures, would have faced challenges in reaching New Zealand across vast stretches of ocean. The absence of suitable prey, such as small mammals, would have further limited their ability to establish themselves. Over time, New Zealand's unique ecosystem, shaped by isolation and the dominance of birds, created an environment where snakes were simply not part of the equation. This absence of snakes has allowed unique ecological relationships to flourish, contributing to the remarkable biodiversity that characterizes New Zealand's natural heritage. The absence of snakes in New Zealand is not a recent phenomenon. It's deeply ingrained in the country's geological history. Fossil records, which provide a glimpse into the distant past, paint a consistent picture. Snakes have never been native inhabitants of these islands. As mentioned earlier, New Zealand's separation from Gondwana approximately 80 million years ago marked a turning point. At that time, snakes were already present on the supercontinent, but New Zealand had drifted too far away for them to colonize. The vast expanse of ocean surrounding the newly isolated islands acted as an insurmountable barrier, preventing snakes from reaching its shores. Furthermore, New Zealand's geological history has been marked by periods of submergence beneath the sea. These events, while contributing to the country's dramatic landscapes, would have wiped out any transient snake populations that might have managed to reach the islands through rare rafting events. Without the selective pressures imposed by snake predators, many native animals, particularly birds, evolved without the innate fear of snakes seen in their counterparts in other parts of the world. This lack of fear makes New Zealand's native wildlife particularly vulnerable to introduced predators, including snakes. Despite the lack of snakes in New Zealand, stories and rumors of their presence persist. These tales, often fueled by misidentification or anecdotal accounts, tap into our fascination with the unknown and the enduring power of folklore. One common myth involves the Waitoreke, a creature of Maori legend, sometimes described as a large, furry lizard or otter-like animal. Some accounts of the Waitoreke mention serpentine features, leading to speculation that it might be a surviving relic of a time when snakes roamed New Zealand. However, there is no scientific evidence to support these claims. Other rumors of snake sightings often stem from misidentifications. New Zealand is home to several native lizard species, some of which are long and slender and could be mistaken for snakes by those unfamiliar with the local fauna. While the possibility of a stray snake being accidentally transported to New Zealand can't be entirely ruled out, the likelihood of it surviving and establishing a breeding population is extremely low, thanks to the country's vigilant biosecurity measures. The absence of snakes in New Zealand is not a matter of chance. It's a consequence of several scientific factors that make it a challenging environment for these reptiles to thrive. One critical factor is New Zealand's climate. While varied, it generally lacks the consistently warm temperatures that many snake species require for survival and reproduction. Snakes are ectothermic, meaning they rely on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. New Zealand's cool winters and relatively mild summers present a significant challenge for snakes accustomed to warmer climates. Another limiting factor is the availability of suitable prey. Snakes are carnivorous reptiles, and their diet typically consists of small mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. As we've established, New Zealand's terrestrial ecosystem evolved without native mammals, resulting in a scarcity of prey items that snakes rely on for sustenance. While accidental introductions through human activities are a possibility, New Zealand's strict biosecurity measures are designed to minimize this risk. New Zealand takes the threat of invasive species seriously, and for a good reason. The country's unique and fragile ecosystem is particularly vulnerable to disruptions caused by introduced plants and animals, which can outcompete native species, disrupt ecological balances, and even drive extinctions. To combat this threat, New Zealand has implemented one of the strictest biosecurity systems in the world. This multi-layered system focuses on preventing the entry of unwanted organisms, early detection of any incursions, and rapid response measures to eradicate or contain any established populations. At the border, stringent inspections are carried out on all incoming passengers, cargo, and mail. Trained biosecurity officers are on the lookout for any signs of prohibited items, including live animals, plants, and food products that could harbor pests or diseases. X-ray machines, detector dogs, and physical inspections are employed to ensure nothing slips through the cracks. Public awareness is also a crucial component of New Zealand's biosecurity strategy. This comprehensive approach has been largely successful in keeping New Zealand free from many invasive species that plague other parts of the world. While New Zealand's biosecurity system is robust, the human factor remains a significant risk when it comes to the potential introduction of snakes. Accidental introductions, often through the transport of goods or luggage, can occur despite the best efforts of border control. One common pathway for accidental introductions is through shipping containers. Snakes, particularly small species, can stow away in cargo holds, seeking shelter or warmth, and end up being transported across vast distances. Once at their destination, they may escape unnoticed, potentially gaining a foothold in a new environment. Another pathway is through luggage. People traveling from areas where snakes are present may unknowingly carry them in their belongings, either as escaped pets or as stowaways in bags or luggage. The risks posed by introduced snakes are significant. Without natural predators in New Zealand, even a single pregnant female snake could potentially establish a breeding population. Continued vigilance and public awareness are essential to minimize the risk of accidental snake introductions. Our exploration into the question of snakes in New Zealand has led us on a journey through scientific facts, cultural myths, and the critical importance of biosecurity. The truth, firmly rooted in evidence, is that New Zealand is indeed snake-free, a status quo that reflects its unique evolutionary history and the tireless efforts to protect its natural heritage. We've seen how New Zealand's isolation, geological past, and the dominance of birds in its ecosystem have created an environment where snakes have never been a natural part of the fauna. Most importantly, we've highlighted the crucial role of New Zealand's stringent biosecurity system, a testament to the country's commitment to safeguarding its natural treasures. While the risk of accidental snake introductions remains, understanding these threats and supporting biosecurity efforts are crucial for maintaining New Zealand's unique ecosystem. By appreciating the scientific reasons behind the absence of snakes and valuing the delicate balance of New Zealand's natural world, we can all contribute to keeping this beautiful country snake-free. For further information on New Zealand's biosecurity measures or to report any potential sightings of invasive species, please visit the official website of the Ministry for Primary Industries.